Wow, that's loud. New phone.
Where the games get played and the games get saved so they can be played on another day. Rob's Arcade.
Wow. Hope that's not too loud. I gotta see what that sounds like. I probably should have done one video and then come back. And I probably didn't have to walk around the stairs. I'm still getting familiar with this layout. It's still pretty new. Oh yeah, I could have just walked over here. I need to actually add some some games to this side here. As I've been saying in a couple of these, if you haven't watched some other videos, man, you guys should be like subscribing and sharing and liking and following and all that stuff so you guys don't miss anything. Um, but yeah, welcome back here to part two of, I guess, my Monday show here for Groundhog Day here in February. And like I said, all this is still pretty new to me. I just kind of recently unlocked a lot of this here in this new arcade. But it's one of my new favorite things. Really, I think it's like I said, one of my coolest unlockables. I'm thinking back to like God, like Mortal Kombat 1 or 2 and like some of their secrets and like the dual art code or like the Sonic debug code, like some of that stuff where it's just like, oh my gosh, I can do this, like that level of excitement, or maybe something in Sonic C. I don't know, man. It's been a long time since I've unlocked something. I feel like this cool. This is this has been pretty far out. And then all of these arcades. I mean, you can play. You can go in here. You can jump in and add more, and then just play to your heart's content. It's like video games within video games. It's unreal. I love it. You got people in here hanging out, grabbing drinks. For a while, that lady there in the rainbow hat, I know I've named her. I don't know what her name is. She feels like a Lynn. Um, we just stand around here on her cell phone all the time. I mean, like even upstairs, it's beautiful. Actually, we'll do the rest of the show upstairs. We got this cool like standee. There's like posters and pictures. I mean, even the bathroom. I feel like did they do the bathroom? Yeah, the bathrooms are freaking amazing. It's just like this is unreal. It's beautiful in here. It's like I said, this is one of the coolest unlockables I've ever witnessed. You got the safe there. These arcade pads, which I need to order one of those for reals. Uh, but I love it. I love this here. Got this freaking monkey dude here in the corner. I said all this because I sat down here and started playing around with this computer. You can do like a manage your arcade thing, and once you do that, then you're kind of able to jump in and place the arcades where you want them. But it was like you can't do that until you've done this and that, and then all of a sudden I did it, and I was like, well, all right, what now? And I walked back into my arcade, and it was just like, holy smokes! It's just unreal, absolutely unreal. It's like music playing in here now. I don't think there was like music playing before. It's just like spray painted walls, and it was gross. It was nasty and gross. Or this will cut to a random camera angle. That was kind of cool on the couch, sitting down on the couch in Rob's Arcade, and it just kind of stays fixed on me. It doesn't kind of like move around. These cool little weird camera angles. But it's cool. You can kind of get like a different angle. Like I said, that little monkey dude. You can order more arcades and stuff like that. But anyway, welcome back. I had a little bit more to kind of to work through because I'm just kind of hanging out here now. Got some was it like Arctic Apocalypse or something like that on, just because it's been crazy apocalyptic Arctic weather, kind of like outside. Um, Seen people getting to and fro in sleds and ice skates. People just kind of like I said, ice skating at their apartment complex. And I don't mean like in the lake or something. I mean like in their parking lot. It's like that crazy. Um, I made the joke right before the snowstorm hit that I was like, yeah, I guess the kids will go back to school in February. And somebody I work with was like, come on, man, it won't be that long. And here we are. We're Groundhog Day, and the kids are still out of school, but rightfully so. Like I said, parking lots are like sheets of ice. It's insane how deep and thick the ice is. Hopefully everybody has stayed safe. out there. I would love to hear some stories. If you want to throw anything in the comment section, just kind of let me know how you're doing or if you've seen anything crazy. I've had like 5 cars get stuck out front of my house. Um, some not for very long, like some only for like a moment or two. Some have like been there like all day. It's been crazy. Um, so if you got any fun stories, please like throw those down in there. And while you're down there throwing in some comments, please share, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Like I said, it's Groundhog Day, and I don't really go for all that. I know it's a cute little tradition and all. My cousin, I was actually texting him, and he's like, "Yeah, it's Groundhog Day," and he gets all excited. He's like, "Yeah, I want to know what the groundhog's gonna say, bro. I want to know what that groundhog gonna say, bro." And I'm like, just hop on your phone, Google first day of spring 26, and it'll pull it up for you, dude. It'll tell you exactly when to expect spring, and that will signify the end of winter. You don't get an early break. Like I don't get that. Like oh, like the groundhogs to be like, oh, yo, no more. No, it doesn't really work that way. But he gets excited for all that kind of stuff. It's amazing. Like he's got a couple kids now. He's an adult. He's no longer. I don't think he's not even in his 20s anymore. He's a full on adult, and he still gets excited for this stuff. And I love it because it's like there's a youthfulness and charm to it. But even with the snow, it was like he was getting so excited for the snow days. I'm like, dude, come on, man. You know, like like I said, I didn't get any snow days, man. I just had to go to work like business as usual. Um, but yeah, I think he was just looking for. I mean, I don't blame him. And I think he did. I think most people got their snow days because, like I said, it was so nasty out. Everything just kind of shut down for a few days, and then even getting back to normal, it was crazy. People are like opening up the restaurants, and it's like, how do people even get into your parking lot when it's just sheets of ice and nothing's been plowed? And if it has been plowed, there's like mountains of snow all through like intersections. And like I said, none of that. I don't feel like any of the neighborhoods have still been touched. I mean, like my roads are looking better now, but that's really just because of the salt that they put down, and some of the sunshine. But you can't even really plow it. People are upset. They're like, nobody's plowed my road. It's been 4 days, and it's like, well, they can't, dude. It's like it's packed full of ice. Like there's no, they can scrape and scrape that top layer of ice, but you're just not gonna, unless you tear up the asphalt. Like you can get in there and like really tear up the asphalt and really get in there. But other than that, then you're gonna have like potholes everywhere. It's just not worth it. And I think that's another thing too. I think that's like part of it. Like there's areas where if it's frozen like that and you start to use the plow, if there's a lot of potholes and repair, it will actually like lift that stuff out. Like it'll just like it'll come out with the ice. And then like it's even worse, man. So I don't know. It's just what do you do, right? You just kind of deal with it. Um, but yeah, it's been crazy out there. But uh, like I said, everybody I think got like really excited for snow and these like snow days, and it turned into ice. And it's like I'm over it, man. It's like I said, we have Groundhog Day, and you know he's going to say that winter's not over yet, which is I know it's not. It's over. It's over when spring begins. Um, March 20th, I think, is what I saw. But I just love my cousin. Like I said, he gets so excited over that stuff, and it's like, yeah, no, we're still stuck here, man. But I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to get out of this. Or I guess even if it's just, maybe not even spring, just get some just a little bit warmer temperatures, man. Just a little bit. Because it's been that was something I looked at too. Like he was like I said, that's why I mentioned that because I think it was before the storm. He was texting me like, "Yo, bro, get to the store. It's going to be snow for days, bro. We're going to be out." He was all excited, and I was like, "Nah, I don't think so, man. Not here. It doesn't get cold enough." And all of a sudden, I start looking at the temperatures, and I was like, "Whoa, okay." Got like some 10-degree days, some single-digit nights. I was like, "This is going to be interesting, man. This is going to be kind of crazy." And it's been making it really hard to get rid of some of the snow and some of this ice. But like, 'cause I'm ready to get back to business for usual for a couple of things. Like I said, I've been talking with this older gentleman who comes to my work all the time about Spider-Man, and it's just been really cool, really exciting. We're looking at putting something together on like Mondays, maybe when I'm off, and just kind of hanging out and discussing comics and religion and spirituality. Stan Lee wrote a great poem. I think it's called like The Voice of God. Let me see here. Let me look that up real quick here. It's on YouTube. I want to make sure I got the title right. It's like the gods. God woke. That's what it is. Not God's voice. God woke. Um, I feel like I said, there's just all kinds of connections between comics and religion and spirituality. And then something I was thinking about just before I hopped off on the last video was that great scene in Spider-Man 3 where, you know, again, the nerdy think of comics. You know, it's an alien suit. It's alive. It's from another planet. Um, but it's hurt by sonic disturbances, sonic vibrations, and pyrotechnics, flame, fire, and all that kind of stuff, and loud noises. So the only way Peter can get this thing off of him is with the assistance of church bells, which I thought was great. You know, it's like I think it's one of those things like he hits this dark place, and I love the story of Peter Parker in the black suit, even more now. Um, you know, here we are in 2026. Another, I think I've said this before in one of my other videos, but another year sober. I love it. You know, raising my glass of coffee in the air as I say that. Super proud of that. Um, and that journey, that story, it really, every time I watch Spider-Man 3, man, that dark suit, it really kind of like hits that whole dealing with alcoholism for me and like struggling with that and that thing that like you think it gives you power and you think it makes you stronger and makes you cooler with the ladies, you know, like he's walking around like thinking like he's all Mr. Suave and Mr. Cool and stuff like that. And you know, it's like a false confidence, you know. He realizes it's really a weakness and he's stronger without it. And so what does he do? He gets rid of it. But he has to like redeem himself, right? Atone for all of those wrongdoings. And in his moment before he gets rid of that suit, in that moment of feeling his lowest of low, you know, he goes to the church for a reason. I think that's because he's looking for sanctuary and he's looking for that cleansing wash, almost like a baptism, if you will, you know, a fresh start. And as the bells toll, it helps to weaken that suit, and he's able to break it off. And then it finds Eddie Brock. It creates venom, which is amazing because the suit hates Peter. You know, he tries to get rid of it. You know, he thought they were close. He thought they were friends. It's like a crazy, twisted, jolted lover. You know, I thought we were meant to be. And then Parker just throws it aside, so it hates Parker. The suit hates Parker with a passion. How could you do this to me? Screaming as he rips it off of him, you know. And then it finds Eddie Brock below. And again, there's all of these like deadly sins and pieces of like, you know, how he hates Parker. He's the wrath. He actually prays to God for God to kill. You know, like what more unholy thing can there be? And then they bond together. Parker's ex jilted crazy lover and this individual who feels is responsible, or Parker's responsible for all of his woes in life. You know those types, like it's everybody else's fault but mine. And so we have this Brock character who blames everything on Peter in the suit, who hate, and they bond together and create this ultimate. It's such a beautiful story, but it all takes place too within a church, and I just think that's such a great visual. Like it's such a cool piece in the comic where you have those like tall peaks and crosses and the bells and the wall. It's so cool. It doesn't matter where you watch that scene or where you see that scene. If you're reading it in the comic, um, even in a retelling, if you're like flipping through a comic and they're just doing like a recap of that event, or you're watching the animated series, or you're watching the movies, whatever it is, when you see that scene where Parker pulls that suit off and it attaches itself to Brock, and it's just all of that is happening when the rain, the storm, the lightning is such a beautiful visual. It's so cool. It's so great. One of my favorite things. Been doing a cool rewatch with a lot of different Marvel stuff and um, complete. Actually, I even realized I was wearing this red jacket too. That's so funny. I should have been wearing some red glasses. Wonder Man. Oh my gosh. What a gem. So I saw the trailer for this a while ago, and I could probably do a whole video on Wonder Man. In fact, I probably wind up spending the last 10 minutes kind of talking about this. But um, I like to know how everybody's weekend is and what everybody's been up to and that sort of thing. And like I said, it's just been a long week with the snow and the ice. Um, you know, it's been busy at work. It's always busy at work around the first of the year. I think a lot of people experience, depending on what you do, like that first of the year can be a little bit busier, and um, our work is no exception. And then this last week has made, like I said, with all the snow and the ice, I feel like things are a little more difficult, a little more challenging at times. So it's a little bit longer of a week, even though I said before I didn't get any snow days, man. Snow days hit on my normal days off, so I didn't get to experience that. But it was a tough week. It was a rough week, and I spent a few of those days open to close, coming home and unwinding with Wonder Man on Disney Plus, and this was a show I was not looking forward to. It's based off of a Marvel comic superhero. He's an Avenger, one of the West Coast Avengers, in fact. And that was kind of the thing. Like, I'm getting kind of hungry. Excuse me. I don't know if you can hear my stomach growl. If you can, I'm sorry. Um, I had a big breakfast too. That's funny. I feel like my metabolism has never leveled out. Like ever since I was in high school, like my metabolism is crazy. Anyway, maybe I have like superpowers like the Flash. Just a no super speed, just a crazy bottomless pit of a super speed metabolism. Anyway, a Wonder Man. Wonder Man is a West Coast Avenger. Simon Williams, uh, kind of, kind of Marvel's answer to Superman, if you will. But if like Superman was a little more shallow and his ego was a little bit more based on like just um, finding fame and fortune. Like Superman never really like wanted to use his powers to be like in the limelight or anything like that. But like I feel like that's if he did, that would be like the answer to like what Wonder Man is. Like there's this guy who just he wants to save the day. He wants to be a hero, but at the same time, like he wants to use his powers to be like famous and on the cover of like Newsweek magazine and Vogue and do like photo shoots with supermodels and Pepsi ads and all that kind of stuff. Um, but when I watched the previews a while back, I was like, this looks weird. This looks kind of ridiculous. Um, I love what is it, Yahya Abdul Mateen? Is that how you say it? Um, great, great actor, and just um, I've loved him in everything else I've seen. But I was like, I didn't see him as Wonder Man. But then I'm like watching it, and I'm like, okay, this makes sense. I love the casting choice, and it wasn't just because like I don't know. I've read the comics. Wonder Man's always just been a Caucasian guy with like dark curly hair, and they did that. They did the original movie was that character, and it's like a whole remake and like a reimagining. And then you look at the images of Simon Williams when he's just pure ionic energy, and it's kind of like, well, damn, he does look like Mr. Abdul Mateen here, and you're like, damn, this is actually pretty fire casting when you look at it. And he's a great actor, but it's just weird. He was like an actor within a show, a show within a show, and a thing within a. And it's just. Then they had Ben Kingsley coming back as that Trevor, aka the Mandarin. I hate that. That was my thing. I hated the most out of all the stuff Marvel's done. And it was just I don't know. It was one of those Marvel shows I was not really looking forward to watching. Some of them, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Loki, WandaVision. Um, as soon as I hear they're doing them, I'm like, oh, I kind of want to check this out. Hawkeye, that was another one where it's kind of like, does he deserve his own show? But then it's like, oh no, this actually looks really good, and right off the jump, like right away, I'm like, this looks like it's going to be like a cool show. Um, the trailer, the opening trailer, the teaser for Wonder Man did not. I was like, what is this? What is this even about? Like, does he even have superpowers? Like, I don't know. It was weird. And I found myself coming home each evening watching a couple episodes. They weren't very long, but it was a nice little break and nothing too long to really jump into. But I also found it very hard to stop. And then I got home on Saturday, long day, like a 10-hour day, and started watching the last episode. Got to like the last 10 minutes, and my mom popped in, sat down, had a couple slices of pizza with me, and was kind of, watching the last bit of the show. And it seemed like she was getting into it, so I decided to go ahead and stop it for a little bit and let her check it out as well. And she was like, "No, no, you don't have to do that." And I was like, "No, I've kind of been watching this, thinking this is something you might be into." And I started it over, and we watched the whole damn thing. It was crazy. I didn't expect that to happen, but we did. We watched it from start to finish, all 8 episodes, and I think that's how it should be watched. The episodes aren't very long, like 20 to 30 minutes apiece, and it was a long sit. It was like about a 3 4 hour sit and watch, but it was 100% worth it, and it was so cool. We both loved it. I think right now it's being hailed as like Disney Plus's like number one Marvel show as far as like the reviews go, and it's like 100% true, man. It's just like it's crazy. It's like it's one of the best things I've seen, and I did not expect to enjoy it that much. I still think I don't know, like I still think the Falcon Winter Soldier is my favorite, only because it was one of the first shows where I was like, I have to watch this every week. I don't want to miss a single episode. Like I would get up every morning and watch that brand new episode, and it didn't fail to deliver. Loki and WandaVision, like those were kind of like, what is this again? And like, what am I watching? Wasn't what I was expecting, but I wound up liking it. Uh, and the Falcon Winter Soldier wasn't necessarily exactly what I was expecting, but I think it was more of what I was looking forward to. And then the show was just amazing. Like any changes, I absolutely loved, and it just delivered on all cylinders. Um, I put Wonder Man like right, either just below it or like kind of like right next to it. And the only reason I don't put it above is only because I didn't go into it. I wish they'd pitched it better. You know what I mean? Like just advertised it a little bit better. And I think that would have really made up for everything, because it could have been one of those shows where I went in like I can't wait for this, and it was like I just happened to pop on Disney Plus one night after I was like, I don't want to watch my Buffy, I don't want to get into my Angel or one of my longer, excuse me, shows, and let me see if I can find something like 20, 30 minutes long on Disney Plus, and something that's not like an hour long, and it's just like, oh, now it's streaming. And then I was like, oh, all the episodes. And I was like, oh, they're only 20 minutes long, 30 minutes long. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll watch a couple of these. Why not? Let's see what this is about. And then also too, like I said, I couldn't stand that whole Trevor State was this Slattery, yeah, Trevor Slattery character, the fake Mandarin, pissed me off. Like that was it made me even appreciate Iron Man 3, and I hated, like I think Iron Man 3 was probably one of the first Marvel movies that I was like, this is not great. This is not. Everybody's like, oh, I love all the Marvel movies. They never make any mistakes. I'm like, yeah, well, Iron Man 3 was a pretty big mistake. The way they handled the Mandarin, all of that stuff really left a sour taste in my mouth, like the fortune cookie. Um, I just didn't like it. I did not appreciate it, and I have a hard time with it because the Mandarin, I felt like they did the right thing, not putting him in like the first movie, because the Mandarin's like Iron Man's ultimate villain. It's like wizardry and mystical versus science and technology. And I was really happy they didn't throw him in like the first or second movie. And I was like, oh, they're saving him for the third film. And I was expecting this big, huge moment. And I was like, oh, Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin. I was like, this might be actually kind of fire. And it was great. And then all of a sudden you find out it's like a hoax. And I didn't dig the whole terrorism thing. And I was like, this is stupid. But then you watch Wonder Man, and it's kind of like, you know what? I kind of actually like this whole. It really fixed it. Like it was a neat. It was a nice little band-aid on the boo boo. Um, and I didn't hate everything about Iron Man 3. I still watch Iron Man 3 like every Christmas. It's a great Christmas movie. Anyway, but I don't know, man. It wasn't one of my favorites, you know. But then after watching Wonder Man, and there's so many layers to that show. It's just like there's so many things going on. And then they had like Trevor and Shang-Chi, and I hated him in that too. I was like, guys, can this get any worse? Um, so when they was like, they were doing Wonder Man, I saw he was in it. I was like, oh well, here's another reason for me to wind up hating it. And he's actually like one of the best things of the show. Like Trevor Slattery fully, I think, redeems his story arc, his character, all of that stuff, and this that's my alarm going off there. In this new show, so that was kind of a cool wrap up to the end of the month, and a fun way to kind of spend my days after work in this whole snowstorm and stuff like that. So I'm also going back and rewatching. I said I mentioned Buffy. I'm doing like a Buffy Angel watch for the first time. I've never seen those, and I've been really enjoying that. A couple other things, but it's like sometimes, like I said, these shows are like an hour long. You know, you don't want to watch a whole movie or anything like that. So I wound up watching um, Wonder Man because it was something short, sweet. I could just kind of pop a couple episodes real quick, but it wound up being a really hard thing to stop watching. And then I was like, well, I don't want to burn through it. I want to kind of cherish this. I want to kind of like eat through each episode. And then only to find really the best way is just to watch the whole thing all the way through. And instead of spending just an hour or 20 minutes watching an episode or whatever that looks like, 45 minutes or something, it's just better to sit down and watch like 4 hours of Wonder Man. Well, anyway, thanks for hanging out and spending about an hour with me. Not, I don't know, not quite, um, close to it. Um, I should do like a 4 hour. I think I have. I think I did. Yeah, I did. I was going to say I should do like a 4 hour show. But I think I did one day almost. Well, I don't know. It was probably more closer to two, right? Because it's probably like about 4 episodes or so. But I wonder what that would look like a 4 hour Rob's Arcade run. I should do that one day. How many episodes of that? I mean, because it's about each episode's about 30 minutes, so it'd have to be about what 8 episodes long. That'd be cool. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out for this second part here. Hope you guys are, like I said, staying safe out there. Finally getting out. Hope you haven't gone completely stir crazy. And if you have, you're in the right place, hanging out here with me. Until next time, guys. Um, well, first, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, all that jazz. Um, you don't want to miss the next episode coming up. But until next time, guys, make sure you take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. And don't spend that quarter anywhere else. See you later, guys. Was that right? I don't know. That kind of felt off. Just going to have to work.